Hey y'all, it's Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks, and we are throwing together a batch of fruitcake. I've actually got one batch coming out of the oven, so y'all will get to take a look at it. And now we're going to start a new batch, and that way you can tell what goes in it. All right, I am going to move this out of the way because it's kind of in the front of y'all. And let me just tell you what you're going to do first. All right, you're going to use 2 cups of room temperature butter, 2 cups of brown sugar, packed brown sugar, 6 large eggs or 2 cups worth of eggs. You're going to use a ½ cup of grape juice, 100%, 2 teaspoons of apple pie spice, 3 tablespoons of vanilla extract, a total of 3 cups of self-rising flour, 4 cups of chopped pecans, and about 3½ cups of fruit, and 10 ounces of that. Well, actually, and then on top of that fruit, 10 ounces of chopped dates. So we're going to get started. We're going to start with the butter and the brown sugar. And let me show you what these look like coming out of the oven. I've got a couple of them. Well, they're all ready to come out of the oven. So let me show them to you. This batch makes 6 of these, this size. And I put a real pretty topping on it. I'll tilt it so y'all can see. And I'm going to tilt so y'all can see anyway, to see what I'm putting in them. You know, to get y'all closer to the mixer. But there they are. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And my fruitcake's much better than the stores. Okay. So, let me get y'all over here so y'all can watch what goes in it. All right, here we go. We're going to start with 2 cups of butter, room temperature. Get it in your mixer, and you're going to get it nice and fluffy with 2 cups of packed brown sugar. This is very buttery, a very buttery recipe. I called it in the title, my buttery holiday fruitcake, because that's what it is. And then your 2 cups of brown sugar going in. Well, why don't I just make a mess? Can't be cooking without a mess, can you? Everything's clean, so. I got my cat locked up upstairs, so she can't get in nothing. All right. Whoa, we're going to mix that up till it's fluffy. And then you're going to add your eggs one at a time. Yes, y'all can see that pretty good. I'm going to move y'all over a little bit while that's fluffing. Now, you're supposed to make this when the oven is not preheated. So, that's one reason I got my oven open, because you want it to cool back down if you have made another batch. Get it fluffy. Now we're going to turn it down and add the eggs one at a time. Sometimes I drop 2, and that's all right. Now these are fresh eggs, so I had to put an extra in there because not all my eggs are the same size, like the ones you get at the store. But you need about 2 cups worth. £2, 2 cups, and 2 cups. All right. Now, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of vanilla extract. And it takes these a while to cook, so it'll be late before I get them out of the oven. It takes about 2.5 hours. And you want to cook them slow like that. 2 teaspoons of apple pie spice, and I use Pecans because I love it. It's so good. Now what you're going to do is I'm going to put the guard on. Y'all see plenty of me in a minute, okay? We're going to put the guard on, add a 1/2 cup of 100% pure grape juice. And that's where some of y'all, if y'all were just in love with alcohol, that's when you can add your alcohol instead of grape juice, okay? But I personally love the grape juice. So that's what I use. Now you're going to add flour. So you're going to add 2 2/3 cup of flour to this. And the last third we mix with the fruit. There's 1. 2. 1/3. 2/3. I'm making a mess today. Now you're going to want that to mix up a couple of minutes. Get all the flour off the sides. And while that's mixing up, let me show you what we're going to do. This is a little different than it does on Facebook because you have to go up and down on Facebook. All right, we're going to take a bowl and put 1/3 cup of flour in this bowl, and then we're going to add our fruit to it and toss it in flour, okay? And I'm going to show you what fruits I like to use. We'll sit this down for a minute. I might let that mix up one more minute. Okay, y'all can hear me. I'm loud. So what we're going to do is we're going to use, this is a mixed fruit. It has citron, orange peel, different types of fruit, and I really love the mixture of it. And it's up to you. If you don't like that kind of stuff, then don't add this part. But I personally think it makes it taste more like Christmas. Green cherries. Now, I chopped up all my fruit before I got on here because the pineapples are really big. Pineapples and cherries. And this is a tropical mix that I really love to use because it's pretty. Isn't that pretty? That's tropical fruit. And it's drier than the other fruit. I don't really know why, but it always is. But that's kind of a good thing because you're going to want to toss it in this flour so it don't stick. So we don't all fall to the bottom of the cake. Here, let me see if I can go out a little bit. Okay. I'm trying to get the picture, but it's hard to do when you're horizontal. All right, so then you're just going to toss this in your flour. I could scoot down here, then y'all can see me. And then we're going to add our 10 ounces of dates and 4 cups of chopped pecans. Now these pecans, oh, I need to turn this off. I'm just crazy. These pecans, I actually toasted a little bit, about 5 minutes, and then I took every single one of them by hand. I'm serious. I picked up every little pecan by hand and I smashed it. Ooh, they smell so good too. So that they'd be in big hunks and not be, I don't know if I got 4 cups left, but 1, 2, I got about 3. Got about 3 cups left. I might have to grab some that I toasted. All right, and this is 10 ounces of dates. It's a lot of fruit. A lot. The good thing about toasting the pecans, though, is it makes them go further because you can get that real good flavor in there without having to put as many. So I'll reach behind me and we'll get a few more pecans to go in here real quick. I thought I had enough, but I don't. So I got to rinse my hands off, y'all. Just 1 second. All right. The cameraman's tired and he's got a little bit of a cough, so he's not down here. And let me think of how I want to chop these. I'll just chop them with my chopper. Be done with it. There's about 1/4 cup. I don't really like to chop them with the chopper for this kind of cake because I like big pieces of pecans. I just put too many in there, I guess. Okay. The bigger the better for me in a fruitcake. All right. So we're throwing those in there. Now it's got plenty of pecans. And then I put pecans all over the top. I'll show y'all that cake in just a second again. So here's what it looks like if you're just coming on when it's done. Yummy, yum. It is a lot. It's an expensive cake to make, y'all. It ain't cheap. I can guarantee you that. Ain't nothing cheap about it. But boy, is it good. Good, good, good. So you're just going to take all your fruit, mix it up good. And then we're going to mix in the batter. Get the cakes in the oven. And I'm going to show you how to mix up the topping too. It's really easy. All right. My husband will have to tell me how long I've been on here. I don't know that this will tell me on here how long I've been live. Okay. So let's get the big bowl. And you're going to take your batter. And it's real light and fluffy. Okay? It's not dense like you would think it might be. Lord, I got y'all crazy sideways. Super light and fluffy. And it's delicious. You're going to put it in the big bowl. All of it. Now I'm using my hands just like Mama would. So when you're mixing up a big batch of anything, dressing, cake, whatever, you use your hands. If you've ever worked in a bakery, I tell people all the time that they would know that because that's what they do. There's quite a bit of cake batter left in here. I'm trying to get it all. This is the fun part. You get to play in the batter. And then you take all your fruit and you pour it into the batter. And then you mix it up. Just like that. And it's super easy. But the hardest part is getting all the fruit ready, you know, making sure it's chopped up good. Pre-toasting your pecans if you do want to use some toasty pecans, because this cake cooks at such a low temperature, those pecans are not going to toast in the cake mix, okay? This cake cooks at like it's on 250 most of the time. So it's not a real long, it's not a high temperature. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, a lot of people will tell me that I've got too much batter in my fruit. But if you ever tried my cake, you would say, holy smokes, that's delicious. And 4 people won one of these with our giveaway. We do a giveaway every month online. And I had 4 winners for fruitcake this last month. And so now that I'm getting these in the oven, each of the winners will get one of this size that I just showed you. Okay, now we're going to fill these up. Now I've pre-sprayed them with some baker spray. And I had one that almost wanted to run over last time, and I don't want that to happen again. So I'm going to be a little more careful. It rises, but not a whole lot, okay? Not a lot, but it does. I get to listen to Christmas music when Chris is gone. He did go fishing today. But he don't like Christmas music. He's a bah humbug. He don't help me decorate, and he don't like Christmas music. And I'm sure some of y'all, if you've ever worked retail, you probably, some of y'all probably don't like it because you've had to listen to it so much. If you worked in a retail setting. Unless you're like me and you just love it so it don't bother you. All right, let's see. Let's see, guys. I want to make sure they're all about the same. Filled about the same. Just drop that piece on the counter. Now, I'm going to show you these little containers I'm putting them in. They're so cute. Got them on Amazon. I got me some smaller ones, some even smaller ones for little pound cakes. And so I'll show you those too. Matter of fact, I might want to fill one of those because I got a little bit more, maybe because of all the pecans I put in there, than I did last time. These are the little pound cake ones. They're super cute. They're smaller. I think they might be a little taller. This will be my fruitcake for tomorrow. I'll eat it. I'm going to put all the cake batter in it. No, I won't do all of it, but there's always a bunch of batter in the bowl when you're done. That's just the batter and not the fruit. And you got to be careful because if you put too much in them for real, they'll want to spill over. Just kind of do your best. I do have more in some than others. You can play around with it and try to make them all the same. Once you start kind of spreading it out, you can kind of tell if you got more in one than the other. Then I'm going to show you how to do the topping. So these go in a cold oven. And when you get them in there, you turn the oven on 200 and, Let me change this so I can wash. When you get them in there, and plus I'm getting a bite. You get it in the oven at 300 degrees, I think. Yeah, 300. All right, let me rinse off. I just ran me some good water, and I'm getting it dirty with my dirty hands. I don't like to get nasty stuff in my dishwater. Are you like that? Or am I the only one? I can't stand it. I rinse my dishes before I put them in my dishwater. All right. Well, Happy, did I kick you? I'm sorry. Stinker. This one might run over, so I'm going to put a little bit in here. It just looks like it might. All right. Now we're going to slide these in the oven. Put the oven on 300. I'm going to get the other ones out of the oven. And then I'm going to show y'all how to do the topping as well before we hang up. They look so good. So you want to put them in an oven that's not preheated. I tell you to read the directions, the entire directions before you start. Uh-oh, where am I going to put my little one? I guess on the bottom. All of these fit on the top right good. I'll put my little bitty one on the bottom. Whoops, that'll be just for me. Okay. 300 degrees. And you put the timer on for 30 minutes. Now you got to do it, and you got to do it right, and you got to bake it at the temperature and time that I tell you to. You do need to check on it though, because everybody's oven's a little bit different. Like my oven actually cooks about 25 degrees less than it's supposed to. So I actually cook mine on 325 for 30 minutes, and then I turn it down to 275. But a regular oven, it should be 300. For 30 minutes, and then 250 for like the oven that I had in St. Mary's. That's what I cooked it on, but I had to change it here. And I haven't gotten me one of those thermometers where you can check your oven temperature, but I'm almost positive that mine's off about 25 degrees. And so you just need to know your oven, is all I know to say. If you bake as much as I do, you know if it's doing it, you know, if it's at the right temperature or not. But you can go to Walmart and you can buy a thermometer. And it sits up on its feet, and it's usually less than $10. Put it in your oven and see what the temperature is. When it says it's 350, see if it's really 350, and then you know how to change it. There's a way you can actually change your oven, but I'm not going to get that complicated with you today. Now, I was going to show you how to mix up the topping right quick, and then we're going to eat a piece, okay? So, my batter is not thick. Somebody just said their batter's not thick like mine. If you've seen how light and fluffy this was, it is so light and fluffy, it's almost like whipped cream. I'm not kidding. That's how light and fluffy it is. It is not thick like cake batter. All right. We're going to rinse this off, and I'm going to show you how to make your topping really pretty. And you can do it for with anything really that you're wanting to glaze. If you want it to be a simple, easy glaze. And so we're just rinsing this out, and I'll dry it, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do. You're going to take, then we're going to eat a piece of fruitcake. So I want to move y'all over here and show you what I do. It only takes a second. Uh-oh. Bear with me. Okay. Now then, turn the light on. Look how pretty them are. Ain't that pretty? Okie dokie, Smoky. You're going to take a nonstick skillet, orange marmalade. Now, if you don't like orange marmalade, I absolutely love it. I mean, it's spread out on this fruit and pecan, so it's not like you get a big mouthful of it or anything. But I love it. If for some reason you don't like it, then use a different jelly. You could use I tell you what would be good, just clear grape jelly. Not grape, purple grape, but the white, not grape jelly, apple jelly. Apple jelly. That's just clear, nice and clear looking, would be a really good topping as well. So you could take apple jelly and do this. You're just going to turn on your eye, and you're going to heat this up till it's simmering, kind of boiling. And while that's heating up, let me show you what you do. You're going to take your pan, and you're going to use pineapple. This is for the top. And I wash all these, and they got lids and everything for them, and then I use them for leftovers. Green cherries and red cherries. And that's what you can see on these other fruit cakes that's sitting here that I put on them. And then you're going to take pecans, and it takes a good handful for each top of each cake. So what I do is I've got 6 cakes. So I use 7 scoopfuls, and that way they all get plenty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are mammoth pecans. And a little to grow on. All right. And I'll show you, these are Sunnyland pecans, mammoth. And they came in a box, in a bag like that. They come from Augusta, Georgia. And they donated them so that I could show y'all how good they are, because they're my favorite. My favorite. A friend of mine started sending me these every year. And ever since then, I fell in love with them. They're Sunnyland Farms. Only the best, it says. All the best, Larry, Beverly, Alex, Stacy, and the Sunnyland Farms family from Albany, Georgia. And then it tells you a nutrition fact for these kind of pecans. It also tells you how to store them. So now you're going to take this and pour it on your fruit and nuts. And now you got to wash all your dishes. Oh. Smoking hot. And you just mix it up, and you do a really good job mixing. And now this is, I'm not using my hands for, because that's so hot, it would burn me. But now I use my hands to put it on the cakes, because it cools down by the time I put it on them, of course. You are not going to put this topping on your cakes for at least an hour and a half. So you're going to cook it the 30 minutes at 300. You're going to turn the oven down to 250 and cook it for 2 hours. So after that hour, so you got 30 minutes at 300, then you go an hour at 250. And then after that hour, your cake should be set up in the middle enough that you can load it with the topping. But let me give you a warning. What I do, because it's still soft and you don't want to ruin your cakes and you don't want to put your topping on your cakes and half of it fall down inside the cake. Okay, that's not what you want to happen. And even if you wait that hour and a half, it's going to want to do that. So what I do, one of these, let me pick out the prettiest one, is I take pecans first. And I put a layer of pecans all the way across the top. And those pecans are like a foundation. I don't know if y'all know it or not, but I have an architectural engineering degree. Did commercial work, schools, for 20 some odd years. I drew schools, the entire school, the architectural part. But anyway, so these pecans will be like a flat area across the top, and then put your fruit on top of those. If you just grab a hunk of it like I did the first couple of times I made them and throw it on there, they're gonna fall down in there. And yeah, it's still edible, but then half your topping winds up inside your cake. And you don't want that to happen. Even after an hour and a half, it will do that if you're not careful. So load it down with your pecans first, and then follow it with your fruit. You know, make sure you pick out some green, some red, some pretty pineapple. And what's so good about this cake, y'all, is that it is glazed. And boy, is it good. It's just so good. All right, we're going to slice a piece. Y'all want to slice a piece? Let me rinse my fingers off right quick. We're going to slice a piece. I'm going to show you how good it is. Let me pick out the ugliest one for us. They're all so pretty. And I got to move y'all again. This one's probably the darkest one. I don't know. Maybe I'll do this one because it is the darkest one. I'll do the darkest one to cut. Okay. And like I said, 4 of these are being mailed to our winners. I'm going to have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to have 12 cakes, and 4 of them go to winners. And then I've got family members that they go to mostly this year. Last year what I did is I cut a bunch of them up in little pieces, and I mailed a lot of different people a bite of it. And I don't really know that I'll do that this year. I don't know. It's hard to decide what to do. All right, let me bring y'all down here and let y'all see it. Pretty. And this is a cardboard. Oh, I was going to show y'all these boxes. I got these on Amazon, and they have lids. So once these cool down, I'll be able to put a lid over the top, and it's clear. See how it looks? And it's going to be pretty. I'll probably wrap it with plastic wrap and then put the lid on it, or vice versa. Cute. I'll give y'all a link to these and a link to the paper molds if you like to make little pound cakes. I used to do this all the time when I was younger. I would make coconut pound cake, vanilla pound cake, different pound cakes, and I would make them in small things like this. And I would slide them in those little treat bags and put a bow on it and a tie, and that's what I'd give people for Christmas. It costs a little bit to make this stuff, but it's really not as well. It is the fruit cake. Making a fruit cake is much more expensive than buying a gift. This one fruit cake, it probably costs, no kidding, at least $25 to make, I would think, at least. And it might be more than that. All right, let's cut us a piece. See how the paper did, y'all? I'm going to cut it right out of the edge of it. I've never made them in paper before, so I didn't know if it would get too brown or not. And y'all, it don't look like it did. Now, when you get these, out of the paper, if I send you one of these, you really need to wrap it in some plastic wrap. But it smells, I'm not kidding, it smells like butter. It smells like butter. And I'm not exaggerating. All right, let me cut through here. There it is. Don't that look good? And I mean, it just come out of the oven. So after this sits a few days, you're talking about delicious. It's already delicious. I'm telling you, this stuff. And it's not just because it's my recipe, because it is my recipe. I actually took a lady's that I knew would be good, and then I did more with it. It's really delicious. Mmm. One of my favorites. If that fruit, if there's something about that fruit that just, like a lot of people are like, I can do the cake batter, and I could even do the dates, but I just can't do that fruit. If you would just close your eyes and take a bite, all it is a sweet crunch. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. It's just like a sugary, sweet crunch, especially the pineapple. And it is so good. And if you've never had a fruitcake that's homemade like this, it's so different than anything you buy at the store. There's a lot of real popular ones that I don't like at all. I won't even eat maybe one bite of it, and I'm just like, I cannot eat that. But you give me one of mine, or one of the ones from Egan's Bakery in Cartersville, and I'm going to eat it. Yeah, you should do a rerun, Cheryl, if you're just coming on. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all make a fruitcake this year. Make a new tradition for Christmas this Christmas, and make you a good old homemade, buttery, old-fashioned fruitcake. Do you know that back in the day, everybody's wedding cake was made with fruitcake? That's how big of a celebration it was. That was a long time ago when they made wedding cakes with fruitcake. But they did. Y'all have a wonderful day. And to the winners out there, if you don't know who won, all you got to do is go on the homepage of the website. It always gives you the winners. You can scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's 4 winners on there. And you can see who won the fruitcakes and our homemade butter toffee. This month, we're just giving away money, $200 in a gift card. Okay? We'll see you next time on Collard Valley Cooks. I think I might make a bunch of pound cakes. So I got so many eggs, they're running out my ears. And you can freeze pound cake. See you next time. Love you.